Good morning, class. Today we'll take the new segment of the chapter French Revolution, that is third one, France abolishes monarchy and become republic. So here, last turn we have seen that different symbols were introduced in France and they were having their own explanation. We have discussed that one. The cap, the chain, the ring, and the sceptre and eternal eye, like all. So now here you have seen that monarch was dethroned, but can you imagine that was it very easy thing that a person who is dethroned can be calm and quiet, he will not do anything and he will not do any for saving the seat and saving the position in the country. So absolutely this happens, means when he was dethroned, he did some action, and because of that some new changes came in the society. So we know that although Louis XVI had signed the constitution, because he was under pressure, either he had to left the seat or he had to resign the seat, or he accepted the situation which was he facing. So the situation in France continued to be tense during the following years, means when there was constitutional monarchy, means king was under some pressure, so he was following the constitution and he was abide by that constitution. So means is that the years were full of tension for him. Now Louis XVI entered into the secret negotiation with the king of Persia. Rulers of other neighboring countries were worried by the development in France and made the plan to send troops to put down the events that had been taking place since the summer of 1789. Means you can see here, when because rumor travel very fast, and what was happening in France, you will see in 10th class that what is happening in France, it is influencing all nearby countries in the continent Europe. So when it happened there, secret negotiation, means the king who were ruling in other country like Persia, okay, then Austria, and thou means the kings start negotiating each other, means if it is happening there, it can be happen somewhere even in their own country. So rulers or the of the other neighboring countries were worried about, means this situation can take place there only, people can be agitated, people can take all the politics in their hands and they can change the situation as it happened in France, and made plan to send troops to put down the events that had been taking place since summer of 1789. Now, before that, when he was negotiating, because people were very sharp of France, they did not give any chance to Louis XVI that he could save himself or he could do something extra. So, before this could happen, means if the monarch could do something, the National Assembly National voted in April 1792 to declare the war against of Austria, means to whom the king was negotiating the country, they start attacking on that, and the battle they declared. Thousands of volunteers thronged from the provinces to join the army, means most of the people they were ready to join the army because they wanted to save their country, they did not want the monarch rule again, and they saw this as a war of people and agitated and atrocities all over the Europe. All over Europe. Marseillaise, this was one of the national anthem, became composed by a poet, that is Roget D.L.S., and it was sung for the first time there by the volunteers and Marseillaise as they marched into Paris. Means, like when we talk about our national anthem, we feel proud when we sing it, we give its respect, we stand and we means celebrate on national events or somewhere in our all institutions. So this happened, mean when people start marching for the battle, they sang this first time, Marseillaise, and Marseillaise now become the national anthem of France. Now, after that, what happened? The victory was obviously, it should be of them. Now, political clubs. So, what were the political clubs? Now, you'll see the picture behind what had happened. The revolutionary was brought loss and economic difficulties to the people. means revolutionary wars, whatever happening, because people were not, we had earlier discussed that there was no money with the monarch, so whatever the money people have, they invested towards the war, and it brought some, you can say, lack of money. While men were away of fighting in front, women were left to cope with the task of earning or living and looking after their families, means their women were working all, means most of the things. So political clubs became an important rallying point of the people who wished to discuss the government policies and plan their own forms of action. Means at that time there was nothing is left, only political clubs, which were very popular at that time, because these clubs not like a enjoying clubs. The clubs were very important here, only the political activities were discussed. Means people learn how to the country run and what they will do for the sake of country. Most successful of these club was there only one of that, that is Jacobin club, which got its name from the former convent of Saint Jacobin in Paris. It was on on the name of Jacobin, who was the saint, and the women too had been active throughout the period, form their own clubs. Means men also having, they were having like a member of Jacobin club, and women were also the active member of some clubs. They also had their own club. So Jacobin club, let's see what was Jacobin club, what was the rule regulation for this club. Means the member of the Jacobin club belonged mainly to the less prosperous section of society. Just understand, less prosperous means the member of this club were not too rich. They were very simple people who were working, who were waging or who were laboring, working in a simple kind of work, and they include small shopkeepers, artisans such as shoemakers, pastry cooks, and watchmakers, printers, as well as servants and daily wages workers. So their leader was Maximilian Robespierre. Means all these kind of people who were under the membership of Jacobin club, he was holding them, he was the leader of them. And a large group among the Jacobin decided to start wearing long strip trousers similar to those worn by dock workers. Means he kept a dress code there, because it was trend in Europe that any of the institution, the dress code was compulsory, and on formal occasion, informal occasion, they have different kind of dress sense. So he introduced with the dress, like what kind of dress they will wear. So long strip, strip means the trouser is here, तो इसमें strips होगा, ठीक है, strip like trouser will be that, and similar to those worn by dock workers. Dock workers, the people who work over ship, ठीक है, तो शिप पर काम करने वाले जैसे लोग पहनते थे ऐसे. बट this was set themselves apart from the fashionable section of society, especially nobles who wore to knee breeches. Same it was, but the difference was that it was knee breeches, means they people used to wear knee breeches. Knee means half pant, and they people wearing full pant, means full. Knee breeches, breeches means trouser, knee means घुटनों तक का, ठीक है, half. So they used to wear, but they were not. Sans clottes, sans clottes, these Jacobin came to be known as the sans clottes, literally meaning those without knee breeches. सेंस क्लॉटिस, सेंस का मतलब है विदाउट, क्लॉटिस का मतलब है नी ब्रीचेस, ठीक है. दोज हु विदाउट नी ब्रीचेस मीन्स दीज पीपल वर फुल ऑफ ट्राउजर्स, एंड सेंस क्लॉटिस मैन वोन एडिशनल इन द रेड कैप. और क्या पहनते थे? रेड कैप, एंड दैट सिंबलाइजेज लिबर्टी, मीन्स दे आर फ्री नाउ, they are not any under bondage. So women however were not allowed to do so, means they did not wear such kind of clothes. Only men, for the men and the member of the club, they were allowed to wear such kind of dresses. So this picture you can see here, like sans clottes couple, how they are wearing, though women were wearing same kind of, but the skirt and something is different. So attack on the palace of the Tuileries. Now new episode take place here, because something was not quite, because club was very much active. So what happened in that summer? Because now king was there, and people now still not happy with that. So on the morning August 10, they stormed at palace of Tuileries, massacred the king guard and held in the king himself as a hostage. Means the people went there, they attacked on the palace and they captured the king. And later the assembly voted to imprison the royal family. Later, the assembly voted to the imprison the royal family. Louis XVI was sentenced to death, and the court of the charge of the treason. Means Louis XVI was not acceptable. He was not liked by the people, so he came under the treason charge. Means he is not, he is doing conspiracy with the other countries. He is not loyal. He is not royal, like all whatever the charges acquitted on him. So. He accused like all this. On 21 January 1793, he was executed publicly at the Place de la Concorde. Means that particular device was introduced. You will see in the chapter, I'll show you many of the pictures are there. The Queen Mary Antoinette met with the same kind of fate shortly after. Means there was a device by that the person was beheaded in the public, and the reason behind, when there is some you can say treason charges over there, and he was accused that they are not faithful for the country, so this was done with him. So here we have seen what happened to the monarchies and what happened in the Jacobin Club. The main event of the chapter is then, and Marseillaise, the song was written by and was firstly sung by the people when they were marching in the war. So these were the events, and under particular topic that in France monarchy abolishes and it became republic. Republic we'll see in the next segment. So revise the chapter, read the chapter, take out your points so that you can understand it well. Thank you. Have a nice day.